The first International Women's Day was celebrated on March 19, 1911, in Austria, Denmark, Germany, and Switzerland. Over 1 million people attended rallies and demonstrations, calling for women's right to work, vote, and hold public office. The day was an enormous success, and it soon became an annual event in countries around the world. In 1917, on March 8th, Russian women gained the right to vote and hold public office. This event is often cited as one of the most significant milestones in the women's suffrage movement, and is why March 8th was chosen as the official date for International Women's Day by the United Nations in 1975. Today, International Women's Day is celebrated in over 100 countries around the world, with rallies, marches, conferences, and cultural events taking place to raise awareness of women's rights and promote gender equality. On March 10, 1910, China officially ended the practice of foot binding, a traditional custom that had been practiced for over 1,000 years in China. Foot binding was a practice in which girls and women had their feet tightly bound in order to achieve a smaller size and a more delicate appearance. The practice was extremely painful and often led to serious health problems, including infections, deformities, and difficulty walking. The decision to end foot binding was part of a broader effort by Chinese reformers to modernize the country and improve the status of women. The movement to end foot binding had been gaining momentum for several decades, with many Chinese intellectuals and activists speaking out against the practice and calling for its abolition. In 1902, the Empress Dowager Cixi issued an edict banning foot binding, but the practice continued in many parts of China. It wasn't until 1910 when the new government of the Republic of China officially outlawed foot binding. The Concorde was a supersonic jet that flew faster than the speed of sound, and it remains one of the most iconic and recognizable aircraft of the 20th century. The first Concorde flight took place on March 9, 1969, and it was a joint project between the British and French governments. The aircraft was designed to be a symbol of national prestige and technological advancement, and it quickly became a symbol of luxury and exclusivity. The Concorde was designed to fly at a cruising altitude of around 60,000 feet and could reach speeds of up to 1,350 miles per hour, more than twice the speed of sound. This meant that it could fly from New York to London in just over 3 hours, a journey that would take around 7 hours on a regular commercial flight. The Concorde was not without its challenges, however. Its high operating costs and limited seating capacity meant that it was never a mass-market aircraft, and it was only operated by a handful of airlines, including Air France and British Airways. Additionally, its loud engine noise and high fuel consumption made it a controversial aircraft, and it faced opposition from environmental groups. Despite these challenges, the Concorde remained in service for over 27 years, with its last commercial flight taking place on October 24, 2003. The aircraft was retired due to a combination of factors, including high operating costs, declining passenger numbers, and concerns over its safety in the wake of a tragic crash in 2000.